Uh-huh. Just 1 second. Give me 1 minute time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This chapter is Dhyana Yoga. And first to sixth chapter is actually Karma Yoga. Middle sixth chapter Bhakti Yoga. Last sixth chapter is Sankhya Yoga. Now, what is this Dhyana Yoga? Here the emphasis has been given on Nishkama Karma Yoga. This is actually the culmination of Nishkama Karma Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga. When a person starts practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, then he comes to the stage of Ashtanga Yogi. Okay. This chapter is speaking about Dhyana Yogis, Jnana Yogis. This chapter is speaking about it. Dhyana Yogi, Jnana Yogi. But Prabhupada is not waiting till the last verses of Arjuna comes. When Arjuna says, oh, the mind is so restless, meditating is impossible. Then Lord says, better be my bhakta. Simple. Lord says, better be my bhakta. Don't try out all these systems. First, I'm giving a briefing about what is this chapter. Krishna is speaking on Dhyana Yogi and Ashtanga. There is Ashtanga Yogi and Jnana Yogi. But if you see Prabhupada purport, Prabhupada speaks on Bhakta Yoga, Bhakti. In the ladder, in the transcendental ladder, there are three systems. Jnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, and Bhakta or Bhakti Marga. These systems are there. What is the commonness in three? The commonness is everybody wants to control their senses. So a transcendentalist, that is a Jnana Yogi, with his knowledge, with his Jnana Marga, he is trying to control his senses. Now, when you say yoga means connection to Krishna, I will say how a Jnani knows about Krishna? Doesn't know. He connects to Brahman. For him, Brahman is everything. Impersonal. In the same way, Dhyani also, Ashtanga Yogi also, what he does? There are eightfold systems. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. 8 systems are there. He follows Yam and Niyam. He sits in Asan. And he does the breathing exercises. Then from the level of mind also, he tries to remove the objects. Then Dharana, he takes one object so that he can focus on it. That is Dhyana. But then what is Samadhi? For that, he has to have connection with the devotee or he will never understand what is Samadhi. Samyag adhiyate asmin atmatate etatme. That means understanding our constitutional position with Krishna. I am servant of Krishna. But at the level of dharana only, what happens? He gets so many siddhis. Because he has done so much of tapasya. Even from the level of mind, he is removing. The rasgullas are jumping up and down. But no rasgullas. Strictly no rasgullas. Even at the level of mind, no rasgullas. No attachment to family, even at the level of mind. So much of tapasya. So much of tapasya. Lord says, okay, I'll give you siddhis. You become lightest of the lightest. You can float in the air. You can walk on water. Then what happens? He gets a pride. Oh, I can remove vibhuti. I become equal to God. People are calling me God. Who does not like to hear this? Everybody likes to hear. He does not correct them also. Hey, I am servant of God. No, he will not correct. मैं थोड़ी बोल रहा हूँ, लोग बोल रहे हैं. But you did not stop. So what happens is this dharana dhyana, there itself the downfall starts. Because that highest sense gratification is thinking oneself God. That is the highest sense gratification. Trying to compete with Lord, highest sense gratification. But now, what he did, he gave up many of the activities and slowly, in the initial, the activities were important. He cannot give up totally the activities, and then slowly he gives up even the activities also. Now, for a devotee, what happens is it becomes very easy because there is no question of giving up the activity. What is this Pondrak?
Pondrak considered himself as Krishna, no? He dressed like that, you know.
Yes.
Envious.
So, for a devotee, where is the question of giving up the activity? He is doing everything for Krishna. Krishna is in the center. So, which activity he will give up? He is connecting his family to Krishna. He is connecting all his activities right from cooking, right from sleeping also. Why you are sleeping? So that I can wake up early in the morning and chant the holy name. So, which activity he should give up? He is going to office so that he can earn and give to Krishna, using it in Krishna's service. So, for a devotee, this becomes very easy. But now, the whole question is, though Prabhupada is writing about Bhakti Marga, initial verses are not taking into account Bhakti Marga. So the question arises, let us see, sixth chapter. But Prabhupada intentionally gives about Bhakti just because his audience already have tried out many things and they want to have higher experience, hallucination, higher feelings, higher ecstasy. Take one drug, higher ecstasy. Prabhupada says, you nonsense. That is why Prabhupada emphasizes on devotional service. No Jnana Marga, no Ashtanga Yoga Marga also. Because all these people have tried out so many things. There were so many hippies who used to come to India to try all these things. And there were many yogis in India who used to use them also. Tell them also, yes, higher experience. Chirut laga ke baith jao bas. So that is why this Jnana Marga, this Tapasya, they go to Himalayas, Agori Babas. Because in the last Prabhupada, Krishna clearly says, all this because Arjuna says, mind is restless. Where it will focus? For 1 minute it will focus. Again many thoughts come. So then Lord says, yes, just worship me. That is most important. Madgadenantaratmanaha, Krishna says. Now let us see the sixth chapter, Dhyana Yoga, first verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha Sa Sannyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragnirna Chakriya. First two verses speaks about Nishkama Karma Yoga. Anashita Karma Phalam. Don't take ashraya without taking shelter of the results of the work. Just do karyam karma karoti yaha. Just do as an obligation, obligatory work. Every day you're brushing the teeth, na? Let that do it without expecting any results. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha sa niragnirna chakriya. Actually, who is a sannyasi? This person is a sannyasi. Sattanyasa. In the search of absolute truth, giving up material propensities. In fact, he is not a sannyasi, just having just Bhagava Vastra and thinking that I should not light fire, because karma sannyas speaks about giving up all the work, lighting no fire, performing no duty, giving up all the prescribed duty. Karma sannyas speaks about it. Vaishnav sannyas speaks about in every stage you can be a sannyasi. Grahastha sannyasi, 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 brahmachari sannyasi, vanaprasthi sannyasi, satnyasa. Our consciousness should be, bas, I should serve Krishna. Now, if that is a consciousness, then he is a nitya sannyasi. Even in the house also, though you are going to office also, you are also a sannyasi. If you are a bhakta, you are a sannyasi. So karma sannyas has been completely rejected by Krishna in this verse. He says the one who has no attachment to the fruits of the activities, at the same time he is performing activity. Not that he is giving up the activity, but he has no attachment to the fruits of the activity. That person is actually a sannyasi. That means he is a dhyana yogi. Here sannyasi refers to jnana yogi or ashtanga yogi. Yogi is given, na, sannyasi yogi. That yogi refers to ashtanga yogi. Sannyasi refers to jnana yogi. Let's see what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Okay, but why he came to this stage? Because anashitaha karma phalam. That means he has performed nishkama karma yoga. Okay. Vijit Prabhu, read the verse.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita karma dhalam karya karma karoti ya na sannyasi na yogi cha na niragnir na kshatriya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obliged is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic. Note, he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Purport. In this chapter, the Lord explains that the process of the eightfold yoga system is meant to control the mind and the senses. However, this is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in the age of Kali. Although the eightfold yoga system is recommended in this chapter, the Lord emphasized that the process of karma yoga or acting in Krishna consciousness is better. Everyone acts in this world to maintain his family and their paraphernalia, but no one is working without some self-interest, some personal gratification, be it concentrated or extended. The criterion of perfection is to act in Krishna consciousness and not with a view to enjoying the fruits of work. To act in Krishna consciousness is the duty of every living entity because all are constitutionally parts and parcels of the Supreme. The parts of the whole body work for the satisfaction of the whole body. The limbs of the body do not act for self-satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the complete whole. Similarly, the living entity who acts for the satisfaction of the supreme whole and not for the personal satisfaction is perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. The sannyasi is sometimes artificially think that they have become liberated from all material duties and therefore they cease to perform Agnihotra yajnas, fire sacrifices, but actually they are self-interested because their goal is to become one with the impersonal Brahman. Such a desire is greater than any material desire, but it is not without self-interest. Similarly, the mystic yogi who practices the yoga system with half-open eyes, ceasing all material activities, desires some satisfaction for his personal self. But a person acting in Krishna consciousness works for the satisfaction of the whole without self-interest. A Krishna conscious person has no desire for self-satisfaction. His criterion of success is the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus he is the perfect sannyasi or perfect yogi. Lord Chaitanya, the highest perfectional symbol of renunciation, prays in this way. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktir ahit ahaityuki tvayi. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women. No, I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Hare Krishna.
See what Prabhupada is doing. Birth after birth, I only want your devotional service. This is all actually not there, but Prabhupada is just giving because his audience has tried out all these things. That is why Prabhupada is giving this. Okay, let us go to the next verse. My voice is audible, na? Because I'm
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Mataji.
Mataji.
यम संन्यासमिति प्राहु योगम तम विद्धि पांडव नय संन्यस्त संकल्पो योगी भवति कश्चन. Again, Nishkama Karma Yoga has been emphasized. So, what is renunciation? Yam sannyasam iti prahu. So, what is that sannyasa? Yogam. Again, here Yogam, Prabhupada has told linking with the Lord. Yes, Ashtanga Yoga only. But the Ashtanga Yoga should understand that he should link with the Lord. So, linking oneself with the Lord is actually yoga. Yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam viddhi pandava. So, real sannyas means one should link with the Lord. Yoga means linking with the Lord. Naya asanyasta sankalpo. So, if a person has desire for self satisfaction, then he has to give it up. Asanyasta, he has to give it up. Then he is a yogi, a transcendentalist. Then he is a yogi. Yam sanyasamiti prahur yogam tam viddhi pandava naya sanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschan. So what is called renunciation, you should know to be the linking with the same as yoga or linking oneself with the supreme. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Okay, Gayatri, read.
Hare Krishna. यं सन्न्यस्यम् इति प्राहुर्योगं तं विद्धि पाण्डव न यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पो योगी भवति कश्चन. Translation: what is called renunciation? You should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme. O son of Pandu, for one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. Purport: real sannyas yoga or bhakti means that one should know his constitutional position as the living entity and act accordingly. The living entity has no separate independent identity. He is the marginal energy of the Supreme. When he is entrapped by material energy, he is conditioned, and when he is Krishna conscious or aware of the spiritual energy, then he is in his real and natural state of life. Therefore, when one is in complete knowledge, one ceases all material sense gratification or renounces all kinds of sense gratifactory activities. This is practiced by yogis who restrain the senses from material attachment. But a person in Krishna consciousness has no opportunity to engage his senses in anything which is not for the purpose of Krishna. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is simultaneously a sannyasi and a yogi. The purpose of knowledge and of restraining the senses as prescribed in the jnana and yoga processes is automatically served in Krishna consciousness. If one is unable to give up all activities of his selfish nature, then jnana and yoga are of no avail. The real aim is for a living entity to give up all selfish satisfaction and to be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. A Krishna conscious person has no desire for any kind of self enjoyment. He is always engaged for the enjoyment of the Supreme. One who has no information of the Supreme must therefore be engaged in self satisfaction. because no one can stand on the platform of inactivity. All purposes are perfectly served by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
See, one line Prabhupada has added in that translation, which is not there in the whole verse also. Or linking with the Supreme, it is not there. But because yoga word is there, Prabhupada has told linking with the Supreme. Or technically, if you see, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan has given the proper meaning of it. What is that? What is renunciation or sannyas? Where Jnana Yoga has been spoken. What type of sannyasi? Who is trying to function with the Jnana Yoga system. That means tapasvis. The tapasvis who are functioning in this level, Jnana Yoga level. And then they are actually this. Their purpose is also the meaning of sannyas is the same as the meaning of Ashtanga Yoga. Both are now trying to connect with Lord in their own path. But Prabhupada directly says, or linking with the Supreme, their bhakta has been included. Or jnani, dhyani, and bhakta. But one who has not given up the desire of his actions is never a yogi. Now, why this line has come then? Because a jnani or a yogi, Ashtanga yogi, they have desires. They can, this desires sprout at the level of mind. That is why they are not supposed to give up the prescribed duties, they should do it. Where they should be calm at the level of mind. Chitta vritti nirodha. That means at the level of mind, chitta, he should be peaceful. Externally, he should use his senses. If he doesn't use his senses, then mithyachari word we have studied in the second chapter. Sorry, third chapter. He will be only a mithyachari, pretender. So that is what is given. So meaning of sannyas is the same as the meaning of yogi, that is Ashtanga yogi. That means the purpose is the same. Both of them are trying to control their senses. And Prabhupada adds up linking with the Lord because that is the real meaning of yoga. Okay, then third one. Now, in this process, see in this ladder, there are two stages. One is the beginning stage and one is the ultimate stage. So, in the beginning stage for a bhakta, now let us take the bhakta only because Prabhupada emphasized on bhakta only. What is the beginning for a bhakta? Chanting of the holy name. What is the goal of a bhakta? Goal of a bhakta? Chanting of the holy name. Beginning is also chanting, end is also chanting. There is a difference in the chanting. In the beginning of the chanting, he is doing out of pressure. In the goal of the chanting, he is doing with complete love. Somebody is behind him. Hey, chanting kiya, Sonamala kiya. Oh, then he runs behind everyone. Please chant, please chant, please chant. Ultimately, he stops even running behind everyone and he enjoys his chanting. That is the last. What to run behind people, how much he can tell, he will tell. But he's enjoying chanting. There stages comes. One is somebody is behind us, then afterwards we are behind everyone. Afterwards is peaceful. Somebody wants to hear, okay. Jabardasti talk, chant, then fights with everyone. There also stage comes. You don't know, chanting is the only thing. And somebody will argue, oh, you are from ISKCON, that is why. But that time, yes, desperately wants to give. And for that, sometimes he argues, he fights. At the ultimate stage, is peaceful. Let somebody take. Taking is okay. It's taking, not taking, not what to do. He is enjoying his chanting. There is that. But so that is why all the activities are connected to Krishna. Okay? So where is the question of giving up activity? He will not give up any activity. He is connecting. Now, what about the Ashtanga yogis, the Jnana yogis? They are also performing prescribed duties. In the beginning, they should perform. If they don't perform, they carry rasgullas in their consciousness. Because they carry the attachment with their consciousness, not so easy to give up. That is why action becomes the means for elevation. If, as and when he advances, his concentration, his meditation increases, the steadiness increases, then he prefers to give up the activity itself. That time cessation of the activity becomes his elevation. Arurukshor munir yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudhasya tasyeva shama karanam cha uchyate. Aruruksha is the beginning stage where the work becomes the means. Arurudha is cessation of the work becomes the means. The more he stops the material activities, he is completely focused. Now, for a devotee, it does not apply because there is no material activity for a devotee because every activity is spiritualized and connected to Krishna. Okay? Sonalvi.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Text number 3. Arurukshor munir yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudasya tasyaiva shamah karanam uchyate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Purport. The process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the Yoga Rurukshu stage, and the highest rung is called Yoga Ruddha. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts
What is
in
the
the beginning to end
beginning? What it is called as?
Yoga Rurukshu stage, beginning.
Yoga Ruksha
Yoga Ruksha, okay.
and Yoga Rudha.
Okay, Yoga Ruda.
Yoga
Concerning the
Ruruksha also you can say. Yoga Ruruksha, Yoga Rudha.
here Mataji it is given Yoga Rurukshu.
Yeah, Ruruksha.
Yeah,
Aruruksha.
yeah. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna. And being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next verse. Let's see. Verse number 4. यदा हीनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्म संसज्जते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदुच्यते. Fourth verse. यदा हीन इन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मषु न कर्मष्वनुसज्जते. He is not engaging his senses for the fruitive activities. In fact, anusajjate sarva sankalpa. Sarvasankalpa sannyasi. He is such a sannyasi who has taken the sankalpa. And what is that sankalpa? Yoga rudha tada uchyate. He doesn't want to act for sense gratification at all, nor he wants to engage in fruitive activities. He has taken that sankalpa. He does not want his senses to be engaged in material activities. He has given up the desire for material activities, that is yoga rudha. For a devotee, anyhow, he has given up the material activities even from the yoga ruksha stage, the beginner stage only. He is not interested in material activities. You see, when a person takes up pure devotional service, he does not want to go to clubs and pubs and enjoy the materialistic activities. Okay, he works with responsibility, but again, he does not give up the work because he has already given up the material work. He has spiritualized all his work. Diya, can you read? Or you're traveling? I think you wrote a message. No? Gauranga, you read? Gauranga.
Okay. यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मष्व अनुसज्जते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदुच्यते. Translation: the person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Purport: when a person is fully engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna-conscious person can do anything for the satisfaction of Krishna, and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay. Next time. Verse number 5. Book is not with me. Na? Again, this yoga based yoga. Yeah. Verse number 5. उद्धरेतात्मनात्मानम् नात्मानम् अवसादयेत् आत्मैव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर् आत्मैव रिपुर आत्मनः उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् deliver the conditioned soul. How? By the mind. Na atmanam avasadayet. Don't put the soul in degradation. Manaha, one should not degrade himself. Mana eva hi atmanah. The mind is certainly bandhu atma ripu atmanah. It can be either a friend of the conditioned soul or it can be the enemy of the conditioned soul. So deliver yourself with the help of the mind. Use the same mind and deliver yourself. So Prabhupada starts with Atma sometimes refers to body, sometimes refers to mind, sometimes refers to soul. It is very easy to uplift oneself just with the help of mind. That is where the weakness lies. Mind thinks a lot, but mind is not focused in Krishna. That is why the mind becomes sometimes a friend and sometimes the enemy. Okay, Vijit Prabhu, read.
Uttharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripur atmanah. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport. The word Atma denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nations. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is engaged in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of the material nature, and in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to the sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way is to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point. That is, the one must do this. It is also said मन एव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्ध मोक्षयो बन्धाय विषयासंगो मुक्ताय मुक्त्यै निविषायं मनः. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage and mind detached from the sense object is the cause of liberation. Atma Amrita Bindu Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind, which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, is the cause of supreme liberation. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next. So, Atma, with that Atma, how a person can uplift himself. Next verse. बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवः. Whoever has controlled his mind speaks so many things, but whoever has controlled his mind, the same mind becomes the friend. But for one who has failed to do so, conquering means what? He has controlled his mind. Because a dhyana yogi ho, a jnana yogi or a bhakta, the whole aim is to control the mind. For a devotee, it becomes easy because he can think about Krishna and engage his senses. On the contrary, it is very difficult for a dhyani or a jnani to control the mind. See, controlling the child is very difficult. Engaging the child is very easy. Engagement is easy or controlling is easy. The more you try to control, the more obstinate he becomes, the more stubborn he becomes. You engage that person in Krishna consciousness, it becomes easy. So, bandhur atmatmanas tasyaha. He becomes bandhu. The atma becomes bandhu. If it is controlled, it becomes a best friend. But if he has failed, the same atma becomes shatruvat. The same mind becomes shatruvat because he has failed to control the mind. Okay, read. Solal, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. बन्धात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Purport. The purport of practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and his mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Thank you, Hare
Hmm. So controlling the mind, that is a topic now. Let us see next verse. जितात्मानः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः. Whoever has controlled his mind, is controlling the mind means what? It's very peaceful. See, just controlling the mind. I will not look at rasgullas at all. That is not the way to control. Because in the mind everything is going on. But that person is even control the mind. Even the mind also it is not going on. But then frustration level increases only. That Prashantatmaha can come only when the mind is thinking about Krishna. Prakrushta Rupena Shantata can come only for a devotee. Simple. Though Krishna is telling, you yogis, you dhyanis, you jnanis, try to come to this stage. Then you have captured me. Because the whole thing is how a person can focus in that Paramatma. When Paramatma enters, Paramatma samahitaha. Samahitaha. So, how to reach to that super soul who is seated in our mind? In our heart, two soul is there. One is the super soul and the Jivatma in everyone's heart. He himself and Lord. So, how to reach out to Lord? He has to have the Prashantatma. Na? In the mind, something agitation goes on. Then, how we will reach to super soul? For that person, who was attained some prashantasya, that stage of complete tranquility. Shita ushnaha sukha dukha man apman, everything is equal. He is peaceful in every circumstances. Man apman, anything. We have studied in the Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita second chapter we have studied. Matra sparshaastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha agamapaino nityaha tansa diksha swatha. In every circumstances, he should remain peaceful. Then only he has attained that stage. Then he can reach out to super soul. That is why for a bhakta it becomes easy because he's calling only. He's calling Lord. Hare Krishna, what is he doing? Hey Krishna, please come. Hare Krishna, Radharani, please call Krishna. Please engage me in Krishna's service. So for a devotee, everything is becoming easy. But for a jnani and a dhyani, it is not so easy. That is why Lord says, be equal in all these situations. I will reach out to you. Or you will reach out to me. Okay. Gayatri, read. You're free, read.
Hare Krishna. जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः. For one who has conquered the mind, the Supreme Soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Actually, every living entity is intended to abide by dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. When the mind is misled by the external illusionary energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. One has to abide by this superior dictation. When one's mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the dictation of the Paramatma or Super Soul. Because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness, the devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the dualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, cold and heat, etc. This state is practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next one. ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इति उच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः. Jnana with his jnana he is satisfied, but he follows it. That is why vijnana, realized knowledge. So jnani is not enough. Jnana yoga should happen. With the knowledge, he should be connected. He should perform activity. He should be satisfied also. Kutastaha. He should be spiritually situated. Now see, slowly Krishna is including all. Kutastha. He has conquered his senses, Vijitendriya. Yukta iti uchyate. He is connected. Then that person, for him, Samaloshtrashma Kanchana, pebbles and gold or stone. Ashma means diamond, valuable stones. Loshtra means pebbles. Kanchana means gold. For him, it is all same only. Samaloshtrashma Kanchana is same. Prabhupada puts, Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet ghayam indrihi sevonmukhi jivado swayameva spurti adaha. It becomes very easy to understand Krishna just by connecting oneself to Krishna. Here, yoga atma, everything has been given. Become yogi, connect yourself, huh? Become a devotee, everything is given. But how? Atha Shri Krishna Nam Adi. We have taste in the holy name first. The Tuttatma Vijitendriyaha can happen then only. Kutastaha, this stage and all can happen only when a person is connected to Krishna. The Lord has told in such a way when a jnani and a dhyani will not understand. But Prabhupada emphasizes, connect yourself to Krishna, then this stage will come. Kutastha stage will come. Spiritually situated stage will come. Vijitendriya stage will come. Still what? All these stages will come. Okay. Gaurang, read.
ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इति उच्यते योगी समलोष्त्राश्मकाञ्चनः. Translation. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. Purport. Book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. This is stated as follows. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavel Grahimindriye Sevan Mukhe Vijivado Swayam Eva Surati Adaha. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his muchly contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. This Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions, but by mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled, because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stones. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
महन्मित्रारिदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेषबन्धुषु बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्वशिष्यते. Who is more advanced is Udasin. Udasin means is neutral towards his well-wishers, mitra, benefactors, or his enemies. He is equal to everyone. Madhyastha dvesha bandhusu. He is equal to even his mediators. He is equal to even envious people, all friends, enemies, fires, sinners. With everybody, he has an equal mind. Sama buddhir vashishyate. He treats everyone equally. What must be the reason? He is always absorbed in Lord. That is why for a devotee it becomes easy to deal with various types of people because he has nothing to do with anyone. He just has to utilize everyone in Krishna's service. For personal things, he doesn't have any attachment towards anyone. But for a jnani and a dhyani, Lord has to teach. See, be equal to everyone. Your suhrad is there, your mitra is there. To have an equal mind. For a devotee, anyhow, he has equal mind. He sees everybody as part and parcel of Lord. But sometimes a jnani and a yogi, Ashtanga yogi, they may be kind to human. But when it comes to animals, they are cruel. A devotee is kind to animal also. First is he does not tie them in the house. He leaves them. Dog is meant to go on the streets, have a nice freedom life. What we are doing is we are tying them and we say that they are pet dogs. Just imagine if all the dogs tie us and keep them in the dog kingdom, can we be happy? The same way, we have to leave them to their own kingdom. Then they are really happy. So devotee knows how to deal with everyone. So this will be the last verse. So Vijit Prabhu read and we'll finish it.
सुहृन्मित्रारि उदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेषबन्धुषु साधुवपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते. The person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners are with an equal mind. Krishna.
Okay. Small purpose. Okay. So any questions regarding this? Anything which we have not understood, some terms, yoga ruksha, yoga rudha, you can re-ask me, not a problem. Wherever you have found difficulty in this, you can re-ask.
Mataji, will there be exam conducted after 6th chapter? We finished 6th.
Yes, yes. After 6th chapter, one exam will be.
Okay, Mataji.
Study nicely. Okay?
Yes, Mataji.
पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।